Hello everyone, welcome to Onyx Earth Tarot. Everything you need to know about me is in the description box below. So this is exciting because we have a different approach to our readings today. As you can see, we have 4 piles. Yeah, so 4 options. I did do these readings already, so it's okay if you pick multiple piles. Some of you may even pick all 4. But today's topic is who is missing you. So that's what we're rolling with. That's the topic. That's what we're going to see. Some of you, there's some platonic, non-romantic energies tapping into certain piles. But overall, this is about romantic connections. These are love readings to see who's missing you on a romantic level. As always, these are timeless messages, so whenever you stumble upon them, they should resonate if they're for you, okay? So with that being said, we're just going to dive right in. As always, it's 1, 2, 3, now 4, from left to right. I'll give you a moment to select your pile. And if you need more time, go ahead and pause the video. Okay, pile 1, who is missing you? So, I want to get this out of the way. This is a love-based reading, but some of you that selected this pile, this is not a romantic connection. It may be a friendship or something similar to that. But that's just some of you. Most of you, this is very much a romantic connection. So just take it how it resonates for you. I am seeing that this is either a person wanting to open up a line of communication, like wanting to address some past energy, or it could be a new person that wants to open up about their past relationships, not only romantic, but just their past connections and interactions with people in general, right? Because their past connections may have left this person, the person that's missing you, it left them a bit guarded and extremely mistrustful of other people, especially with that shadow, which is the devil card at the center. Yeah. So, okay, so this is how you identify who this is that's missing you. With the guard this person has up, this person has been very transparent with you about the fact that they're trying to open up more to people. At some point, I feel like that's been clear, like clearly defined for you, whether you're in contact with this person currently or not, because there are 2 sides of this pile where some of you are currently talking to the person that's missing you and some of you have no contact. But I'll get into that as it separates. So yeah, this person to some degree is very open about the fact that they have a guard up, and that they're trying to open up to more to new people, or had been in the past or will in the future, something like that. So if you look at that top row, you have new beginnings, self-love, and awareness. So it just feels like you may be the first romantic connection or friend for some of you that this person has pursued in a long time. Or maybe like the first true one ever, right? It just feels like this person's not engaged with someone in the way that they are or have engaged you in a long time. They had a very extended period of self-work, okay? So, like I said, it just seems like you're likely the first person they're attempting at least a healthy relationship with, and they want to do it right. That's why they're being, okay, so 2 groups, okay? Like they want to do it right, so that's why they're the ones that are in communication. They want to be upfront about their issues. Those that aren't, they're almost trying to hide their issues. Like they're not talking, and because they're kind of afraid of how you're going to take it, or they just, again, poor communicators. So you've got 9 of crystals right at the left, and like just aligning that with that self-love card, it just shows that you or this person, could be both, like you're finally, or at least stepping into a period of being secure on your own, on their own, self-sufficient, physically, materially, financially, mentally, and emotionally. And I do want to say that regardless of which side of this pile you're resonating with or will as I develop it, this is a very peaceful energy radiating from this pile. It doesn't feel drama filled. It just feels like, regardless of the circumstances, there's no bad blood or hard feelings, just acceptance of who you both are and kind of hoping to move forward in building the connection. I'm going to start with those of you that are in contact with the person, and I'll touch on the no contact after. I do feel like the energies will align. It's like, I guess, for lack of a better term, the storyline that is the same between you two. It's just how this person is interacting you is the difference, right? Some is like, there's one side that's talking to you, and there's the other side that's ghosting you. So I'll touch on the no contact after I develop this energy. So those of you that are in contact with this person, the distance between you two is likely due to work. Okay, you have the 6 card of love, which is the Lovers. It's ruled by Gemini, 3rd house energy. So that's like transportation, short travels. It's distance you can travel by car, and it's also could be a very yeah, it's like the details. Like it's kind of I don't know why I'm getting tongue-tied. Okay, so I do know why I'm getting tongue-tied, and it's hilarious because that's the no contact people creeping in before I got to them. Because like I said, the energies are similar. It's just how this person is engaging with you. That's the difference, depending on which side of the coin you fall on. Because in my not being able to articulate just now my description of the 3rd house energies, the 3rd house rules communication. Like that is the house of communication. So it's just hilarious that I got a little tongue-tied as I was developing that energy. But that Lovers card, it's ruled by Gemini, 3rd house, short travels, local energy, traveling by car, the house of communication. And obviously I would be tongue-tied if I'm tapping into the energy of those people that are in the ghosting, no communication side, because they are having issues with communication. So, but that point that I was making as I got tongue-tied, that Gemini local short travel energy aligning with that Devil card, which is the 10th house Capricorn. And between Capricorn and the 10th house energies from that card, you have career, hard work, and responsibility. So you've got traveling, which again, not super long distances, but you've got work, you've got responsibilities. It's just somebody that's kind of moving around, focusing on their work, and possibly having to drive different places for work, possibly things like that, or travel to another city, town for work. That's the energy that I'm getting for those of you that are in contact. And again, same for those of you in no contact. This person isn't communicating that to you. Whereas the people in contact, you kind of know that that's what's happening because they told you. or it could be you as well in this energy. But whatever it is, the whole purpose of the reading is who's missing you. So that is why that missing you energy is there, because of this physical distance for those of you in contact. But you also, like I said, you have that lots of cards showing that it's a work possibly thing, or at least if it's not like a physical career, it's work, like personal work, like some type of responsibility this person or you has, that it doesn't have to be career based, but like maybe you're taking care of family, something like that, like a family member that can't care for themselves right now. Whatever you could consider a responsibility, that's where the attention is focused for one of or both of you, and that's why there's that distance. Because I feel like a lot of you are in the same city with that heavy Gemini third house energy, or at least within a close enough driving distance. But with that nothingness card, and which is the Hierophant reverse, it's like an organizational structure. That's another reason why I'm saying work, because that card is ruled by Taurus in the second house, which is like assets and such. So all of that, all of those descriptions to say whatever work, financial situation, whatever responsibility that is blocking this connection, it's not optional. It's not something that is easily avoidable. Again, could be you, could be this person, could be both. But especially with that Hierophant reverse, which is that nothingness card, for those of you that may not be familiar, with that leading into guilt, the Eight of Swords, leading into go with the flow, you two just have to roll with it for now, okay? That instability has one or both of you stuck. And whoever this is dealing with that is intentionally holding back from the situation until it's sorted out, okay? And going with the flow is also, that is the Ace of Cups. So that whole sequence of those three cards is basically saying that with all this confusion and instability, you two are going to have to hold off on starting or restarting a formal connection, okay? By formal connection, I mean that you two are going to continue to engage one another casually, right? You're going to talk, you're going to interact, you're going to talk regularly as you two focus on your own stuff. And that's until you two are in a good enough place to really dedicate some real time to the connection, okay? So, because honestly, there's so much potential for this connection here, whether it's a friendship or like a romantic connection. There's lots of potential, right? You've got new beginning, you have that Ace of Swords, you have the Lovers, you have the Ace of Cups. And honestly, once you get past this current phase or whatever period you're in where you have to develop yourself and they have to develop themselves, it's gonna work out. And again, if you want to at that point, maybe you two grow into new people and just go on your separate paths. But if you two continue on a path of hoping to be more together, it's a really positive energy. But for now, it is focus on your stuff, focus on their stuff. And that's doubled down on that top row, I'm realizing, because new beginnings and self-love, it represents changes that have occurred with one or both of you, right? And it requires you to focus on yourself for now. And with that awareness card, it shows that you literally have the awareness of this, okay? And it's a good, healthy dynamic for those of you in communication with this person, because this is a very open and clear communicator you're dealing with, okay? Like, this person probably directly told you, or even heavenly implied, I don't know why I said that. It may be relevant to you. Like, they probably heavily implied though. I'm looking at that stack of tarot to the left. It's giving me phrases like, Once I'm stable with that Nine of Crystals, I'm going to present the idea, which is the Ace of Feathers, for us to be together, the love card, in a more stable, much deeper level, the shadow. So like that's a message, right? It just feels like that person said that or something similar to you, those of you in contact. But this is where it gets interesting, because those of you not in contact, like I said, all of that I just said to the people in contact, in communication with this person, it applies to you minus the communication. Like, it's just funny because it's a very similar dynamic, similar circumstances, but the difference is that they basically ghosted you, and they're the opposite of the first group. Very poor communicator. And they know this. They're very aware of this, which is why they're afraid. Okay, this person is stressing and extremely anxious about how to initiate contact now that they're stable, or once they eventually get stable. They just have no idea on how to engage you because it's been so long since you last spoke that it's a bit awkward. And even if it hasn't been that long, it the way that they just kind of stopped talking to you was weird. So now the situation is just really awkward. And especially since, like I said, third house, Gemini energies, very local energy, you two are probably relatively close in proximity. Like I said, same city, same general area, close enough to where you may encounter this person at any given time. Not saying you've seen them without speaking to them, which some of you are, which is why it's really awkward. Like they may have tried to hide because they lack communication skills, but like it's just really awkward now because of how close you are in the same area, because of the way they stopped talking to you. Like there's no bad blood, it was just nothing, right? I am, and I forgot to say it at the beginning of the pile, I am going to pull some additional cards. Y'all know I really like those astrology decks, so I'm going to pull a card each from one of them just so we don't make this too long. But before I do that, there was an energy that came in and, like, I don't want to say it took over the pile. It did not. But as I was wrapping up that section, it kind of flowed across the spread. I'm feeling that, and I was wondering why this came through the way that it did. Because some of you here, that instability in this connection is the overlapping of another connection. And I know I say this a lot, but some of y'all just live scandalous lives, and you come here and I pick up the energy, so I have to say it. Like that's the distance between some of you, is that overlapping of possibly another connection. And I was wondering why I was getting that, but now that I'm looking at the cards, this is a very single solo energy I feel coming from that other person. Like that may be what they're working on. Like maybe that's what the work is, that becoming more self-sufficient. And again, that's been the theme of the reading anyway. So you and this person becoming more self-sufficient in general, but for some of you, that specific situation leading to self-sufficiency is this person that's thinking of you figuring out a way to become single, right? Because you're looking at, if you look at the cards, okay, new beginning, which is a fresh start, self-love, right? And then you have the Nine of Crystals, which is the Pentacles. That is a very single solo energy. Like that is success, being financially stable, materially stable on your own. Like 9 is one, just you, just that person. Whereas the 10 of Crystals or Pentacles would be like a family stability, like a family situation, or even if it's just you in the Ten of Pentacles, it would be you being so stable that now you're at a place where you can be prepared for your legacy. Like you're so stable that you have to pass down to future generations. That's what the Ten of Pentacles would be. So the fact that the Nine of Pentacles is here, it's like, this is me making sure I have enough for me. And with that Hierophant, which is nothingness reversed, it's like could be a breaking of a contract, a breaking of a structure, something like that. And it's just a heavy once I'm single energy for some of you. That's a specific message, because again, that's just the underlying, like the underbelly of the overall message of one or both of you needing to be more self-sufficient and stable in your own right before you can kind of get with another person. So I'm going to pause now. I'm going to pull one from each of those 3 decks I've been using lately. Give me 1 second. Okay, we're back with your 3 cards. The first card you have is Aries, which is very interesting because Aries, and it even says it on that card, it's independence, right? So it rules the first house of self, which that's what I've been talking about this whole pile. So even if there aren't third-party influences here, like any overlapping of relationships, like I said, there's just a heavy theme of stepping out on your own, creating a stable foundation on an individual level before bringing in another person, okay? And then you have the full moon in Scorpio, which is, it's time to release negativity. So those of you with that energy, obviously it's very clear that, but just in general, Pile 1, a transformation is happening with you and this person. So just clearing up and releasing some past energy, some past situations, some past contracts, right? Closing out past contracts. It's not necessarily an overlapping of a connection. Like I said, a lot of you here, this is heavy work influences. So some of you or some of the people that are missing you may have short-term work contracts that they have to close out before they can come back and focus their attention on you, things like that. So that's what that card says, like releasing things, focusing on yourself, focusing on themselves, so that they can release, close out what they need to handle their business before you two can further pursue the connection. And with all of this Mars energy here in these 2 cards, because Mars rules Aries and Scorpio, I'm feeling like one or both of you is constantly on the go. Be careful of burnout, because that last card says rest. And with that here, you should definitely get more of that. And if you're in contact with that person, maybe make sure that, you know, they're aware that they need more rest as well, because rest is very important here. But it also says that, yes, this connection is on hold for now. It's lying dormant. It's resting. But it will quickly advance once the time is right. Okay, and again, with all of this Mars energy, it doesn't feel that far off. But for now, we have things to close out, work on, and do on an individual level before we can truly dedicate the time needed for this connection, right? You and this person. So that is all I have for you today, Pile 1. If this resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, Pile 2, who is missing you? I want to say at the beginning of this pile, because I did not for Pile 1, we're going to look at these cards, and then we're going to continue on the path of like some of my more recent readings where I pull out my astrology decks and we get more clarity, just because I really like those decks, and we're going to do that. So immediately here, though, I want to say those of you from Pile 1, welcome back, because it's really interesting that that energy traveled over a bit. It's still different. There's things here I can see, but like, it's just interesting that that self-love card came out of two separate decks across these piles. So they're definitely tied together in some way. You don't have to pick pile one just because I said that. If you only resonate with two, just stick with two. It's fine. But some of you, there's some type of connection between these two piles, especially since the self-love card from two separate decks came from that pile. Came in both piles. So I will say that that first row is extremely similar to pile one in that we have truth, we have duality reversed, and we have self-love slanted left. Now, that's the energy of one or both of you realizing that it isn't quite the right time for the connection, and it's an incoming energy of self-love, self-development, self-focus. Okay, now the difference, because I don't want people in pile two to think, okay, well, if we're just going to do pile one, no, we're not going to just do pile one. That's where the energy is similar. The difference is that in this pile, this is an incoming new energy. Like, it feels like in pile two, this is a recent realization, while pile one maybe went into the connection knowing it would take some time to develop. Okay, because the energy in pile two feels younger, or at least more liberated than the restrictions that overshadowed pile one. Okay, so the person that's missing you, pile two, is creating a plan. Okay, that Two of Acorns, that's the first card, the first tarot card on the second row. It's laying out the details for some sort of endeavor they wish to act on or proceed with. It's likely creative, okay? And whatever they're creating, it's going to really stabilize their finances, and it's going to bring them lots of fulfillment. Like, they're going to enjoy whatever this is they're working on. And I'm getting that from that Five of Pentacles and 10 of Cups slanted right. Now, in that deck, it is the 5 of Crystals and the 10 of Shells, but that's what those cards are. And what the person that's missing you is working on, like, it's gonna offer them complete stability with those right slanting cards like that. That is finalizing energy. It means that when they start seeing success, that is like, they're gonna continue to see success. There's no backtracking, no more lack in their life, whatever that means. And this is interesting, I think. Yeah, okay, so like I just said, I think sometimes I forget what I say as I'm saying it in these readings, because a lot of it's channeled. But younger, like this being a younger version of pile one for a very specific group of you, this is a mirror of pile one. Like, you and the person that's missing you are missing each other, right? And pile two is whoever's younger or less experienced being read. So like pile two would be the younger, more experienced person I'm talking about, and the more experienced person would be selecting pile two, and vice versa for pile one in reverse. So that's interesting, like, because it just feels like if both of you stumbled upon this reading, one of you picked pile one, the other picked pile two. You probably picked both just because of it just feels like you should pick both so that you can get your perspective and that person's perspective. But it feels like, for, like I said, a very specific message. It may even be like one or two of you. Somebody here is mirroring in 1 and 2. You both picked piles. One picked 1, one picked 2. Okay? Yeah, but the person missing you, pile 2, right now, this person's being very stingy with their time, with that 4 of Rainbow, 4 of Pentacles, because they're seeking the stability of that same card, right? They're on this journey they're at the beginning of this journey, honestly, still, towards some sort of success with this creative endeavor. And I'm seeing some of them have really just recently stabilized enough, like they're just reaching a foundation where they can pursue this project or creative endeavor. and I'm seeing it's going to be very successful for them. Like, you have the Fool card, which is a new beginning, and you have the Six of Wands, which is a card representing success and accomplishment. But in this deck, it literally says the word success too. So this person's very interesting. So the Fool card, let's talk about that card. So the Fool card is ruled by Uranus. That's Aquarius energy, okay? It's highly creative, highly unique energy. And with that Miser card, they're holding this project very closely to them. Like, this person may be working on this project in secret, or they're at least keeping it from you. And I'm seeing that you'll be shocked to learn about this project, since Uranus rules shocks. But again, this is something highly creative and unique, and this person missing you, yeah, they're keeping it from you for some reason. But like, this thing that they're pursuing is interesting, because the fact that we have this Uranus energy shows, like, sometimes when you're doing these readings, like, it spills tea. Like, you get answers that you didn't even ask for. So you start getting information just by asking who's missing you. So you can probably tell, hopefully by the end of this reading, you'll be able to tell who this is. Hopefully it's someone you want to miss you. But whoever this is, even if it's not someone you want to be with romantically, because we are trying to get a romantic energy, could be friendship still, but it feels like this is a romantic thing. You're going to find out about whatever this is. Right now it's a secret. They're holding it close, the Miser, right? Clinging those coins. But you're going to find out because there's a heavy emphasis on shock. Like, you would be shocked, but you're going to find out. I don't know if it's going to be once this person starts seeing some recognition with their success, but you will find out about this thing, and it's going to be shocking. So, but yeah, you're going to be really shocked to learn about this project. And again, like I said, because of those shock value, the shock value of Uranus. But again, try to think about, if you already have a vibe of who this is, what are they really good at? What are they highly creative? Like, what's highly creative and unique things that they're good at, things that they're interested in. Like, you could probably put two and two together, just because like it's a big part of their life. So interestingly enough, this is a very strange person, very interesting but strange person. The Miser is also giving me that this person doesn't want you to know about their finances. Like, they don't want you to know how much money they have, which, like I said, is weird, okay? And like, this person either is or will be doing really well at the point in which you find out about this creative thing that they're working on. But that Fool card, because I can pull astrology from it to get more details, with that being that Uranus, Aquarius, so by extension 11th house energy, like, the 11th house is the house of friends. That's the house of, like, networking, social organizations and such. Like, whatever they're doing, it may be some form of a collaboration. I'm hearing, like, online social media influencer vibes, like some sort of audience, but like some type of group, some type of collaboration, interacting, working with other people. This project is going to involve other people, okay? This person's very secretive. They're really secretive. Like, that Miser card is standing out to me. Like, they're clinging all of their secrets. They're clinging all of their business, all of their money. Like, it's just standing out to me. So because this person's so secretive, we're going to stop here with this part, and we're going to pull some cards and see if we can dig more into their business, because it's just interesting. This person's missing you, but they're also keeping secrets from you. They're, like, hiding, keeping everything to themselves. So I want to dig deeper into this and see what the other cards say. And we're back, and it's just, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it's so exciting when, like, you're doing a reading and then the cards, you pull more cards and like those cards align with everything you were saying, because that's what happens a lot now that I've been utilizing the splitting of the reading like that. So it's fun. I'm not gonna lie, but oh my gosh, this person is so secretive. Okay, like the first card you have is the new moon. And the new moon is basically that first flicker of a crescent. Like it's just enough light coming through so that you know the new moon is there. And then on the other side you have the blood moon, which is a total lunar eclipse. And like a total lunar eclipse is basically a completely overshadowed full moon. So this person doesn't want you to know a thing about them, and even if it's not that intense, they don't want you to have a clue about this creative thing that they're working on, even though they're missing you. And this thing is pulling them away from you, it seems. So that's crazy. And the Fool, we talked a lot about that card. That energy is continuing heavily in these new cards I pulled, with that new start energy, and then that blood moon, it's a rebirth, right? It's this person's really exploring new interests and aspects of themselves, right? That new start and rebirth it's a complete transformation that this person is making privately, likely in secret. And you're gonna, I keep stressing this, but you're gonna be so shocked to see this side of them. And with that square card, they're really working on the success of this project and also trying to find a way to merge these different aspects of themselves. Okay, like they're really trying to see how this new side of them in this new endeavor works with their current life and image. Okay, and look, we have here the 11th house card. How crazy is that? Okay, the house of friends. What did I say? What did I say? Again, 11th house, it's ruled by Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus. That's how that works. So this person has like a whole other community, network, friend group, something they're a part of or collaborating with outside of their day-to-day life. And I'm realizing that that's why you have at the top middle, sorry, that deck is hard to see because of the material that it is, but that duality in reverse makes more sense now because this person's essentially living a double life. Like that's what's happening. It's nothing bad. They just have that square energy in that card of figuring out how the two halves work together, right? So I know that I feel like that's a very clear description of who's missing you. Like it should be easy to figure out who that is. Hopefully, again, it's somebody that you want. I think it is because at least for some of you, because that tie-in between pile 1 and pile 2, it's interesting, that interconnection. So some of you, some of you here with that tie-in, you two definitely miss each other. It's not one-sided in any way. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. That's all I have. Hopefully this resonated. If it did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, pile 3, who is missing you? Which is very interesting that you don't have many cards, but I feel like there's a lot of messages here. This may be one of the longer piles. So I'm intrigued because like when I flipped these over, I was like, come through pile 3 because this is a juicy read. It's a little bit juicy. Not in necessarily maybe in a scandalous way. We're gonna see. We'll see. But before I get into that, I want to point out, because I may have forgotten in the first pile to say that I am going to continue on the path I've been going on with pulling from those astrology based decks because I like them a lot, and I like when we I like the structure of looking at the pile and then clarifying with other cards to develop the energy. So let's just get into it. Um, this is why it's so juicy. So the person that's missing you, pile 3, is someone that is watching you. Okay, so this is someone that's definitely keeping tabs, might as well be stalking you. Okay, so hopefully you're interested, because if not, then it's weird. Okay, but I do feel like at least most of you are interested or will be. You're definitely seeing repeating numbers. So you may be seeing repeating numbers, specifically repeating 4s like 4 4, repeating 7s like 7 7, and you may be seeing sequences of numbers like 9 10 11. Okay, so so the person that's missing you is someone that you appear to have categorized in some way. Like, the first card you have there is perception, and it's like you definitely, like, you either appear to have a set categorized perspective of this person, or at least they think you do. Okay, and then that guardian card to the right of it says that there might be possibly an age difference or something more scandalous. Could be like one of you is an authoritative, like in an authoritative role in the other's life. Regardless, that perception card, it just says that a standard has been set. Like, a standard has been set for that relationship on what the relationship should be, what is and isn't appropriate. Some of you, this is a person you friend zoned, or a person that at some point friend zoned you. Okay, so whatever that set perception is, like whatever is in place for your relationship, the way you two should interact, this person is trying to change it. Okay, like, I want to touch on that age difference, possible age difference. All of you don't have an age difference. Whatever that energy is, that yin yang symbol on that card, it just shows that there's at least one key difference between you two. So it doesn't have to be an age difference. It could be any type of difference that's just key enough to be distinct, right? So back to the set relationship. That guardian card slanted right, it just shows that the person missing you, they've been very careful about treading lightly. Okay, treading lightly near the boundary of what is or isn't appropriate in whatever the category of the relationship you two have is. Okay, so they're straddling that line right now on what is and isn't appropriate. And this pile has a very sexual 18 plus undertone, because there's lots of tension here. So this person missing you, like, in that they're already trying to figure out how to free themselves of the box of your, I guess, assigned or, again, categorized relationship. Like, there's a box that's limiting the connection. And that's why the guardian, like, them trying to find a way out of that is why the guardian card is slanted right, because that's finalizing energy. Okay, so a guardian is like an overseer. That's someone responsible for managing a situation in some way. And the guardian is restricting this situation, right? Restricting this connection. But because it's slanted right, that energy is outgoing. Okay, so this person has or is figuring out how to change the dynamic of the relationship into a more intimate one. And the guardian is also how I know they're watching you. Okay, they've been keeping you close enough, like they've been keeping tabs on you, watching you from afar and up close, I feel, for some of you, but they've been keeping you close enough so that when it's appropriate to make their move, they know exactly where to find you. Okay. And then if you look at the tarot cards, you have that number 10 wheel, which is the wheel of fortune. So the person missing you, they're truly in that energy, like I said, of changing and adjusting circumstances to be with you. Okay, it's all about perception, changing perceptions, and it could be your perception that needs to be changed, especially if we're talking about a situation where someone's been friend zoned. But that sneaky energy is definitely in this pile with that 7 of feathers, which is the 7 of swords. Like, this person is literally lurking and creeping. Okay, they're moving very quiet in ways that you don't even know about. So, and then the thing about it is, this person is moving like the way that they're moving right now is like they got some sort of confirmation or a sign from you, like something where you fed into their energy some way, or they at least perceive you as having done that. Okay, and whatever it is, it made them want you and miss you and desire you more. Okay, because the wheel of fortune, it's the wheel of fortune, it's traditionally, it shows the 4 fixed zodiac signs, so it's ruled by that fixed energy in the zodiac, and those signs are Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius. So this person is fixed in their pursuit of you. They're very fixated on you, lurking in the background. They're probably on your social media if you have that. Like, this is the energy. A good example of this, if we can, because there's so many other scenarios, and you know yours, because like I said, I touched on it in the beginning, so you kind of know if I'm talking about you in that scandalous energy without me having to over develop it for all of you, because it is different based on the person. But like, let's say it's just this generic friend zoned energy. Well, like, this person, like, if you friend zone this person, they're kind of flirting with you to feel you out, to see if they can get out of the friend zone, right? Like, they flirt with you just to see, like, let me see if I can test this boundary of being more than friends with this person. Now, some of you that were previously friend zoned by this person, and you know if you have been, there's some regret here. This person really regrets that. Like, I don't know if they just got to know you better, or if they just started to like you, but like, they friend zoned you and they regret it. So now they're kind of fishing and hoping to see if they still have a shot with you. Make sense? So doubling down on that is the 7 of Pentacles, or the 7 of Rainbows, which is the Patience card. Now, the 7 of Pentacles, the traditional meaning of that card is someone reaping a fruitful harvest after putting in the work, after laying some sort of foundation, okay? Now, that card leading into the Breakthrough card, which is number 11, the Justice, this person's just, again, waiting for their chance to be with or pursue you. Like, they're patiently waiting for the right moment to strike. And since Justice is ruled by Libra and Venus, 7th house energies, that's also like balance, and like, it's romantic connections, but it's also contracts, okay? Like some legalities. So those of you with more depth to the connection, where it's more complex than a friend zone energy, like possibly scandalous, like I like to say sometimes, there's possibly some formal contract, possibly, again, legal concern to resolve and balance out before you two can further the connection. But there's a heavy theme of cycles in the imagery of the spread. So Spirit is kind of looking to give some time ranges, like with these numbers and the imagery. So I can definitely say that you should expect something to initiate. May not be super big, but just something to initiate within the next moon cycle or month. Because if you look at that patience card, there's a moon cycle there. So within the next month or the moon cycle, something, even if it seems small, should initiate. Now, I want to say that a key period just in general for this connection is going to vary with the way that the numbers fall, but we're going to try to develop in how it could resonate for all of you in different ways. So you have a range of 7, because you have 2 7s. You have 8 with 44. You have the 9 card, which is perception. And then you have 10, Wheel of Fortune. And then you have 11, breakthrough. So 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So within that range of months, so it could be 7 to 11 months from now, 7 to 11 months into an established connection with this person, or it could be 7 to 11 months, like the 7th month of the year to the 11th month of the year. So July through November. Something's gonna happen within one of those ranges. And again, this is timeless. So whenever you're watching this, that time frame as it relates to your timeline that you're in while you're watching, something in that range is gonna be key to the connection. Especially at the 9th month, because you have the expectant woman on the 7 of rainbows, and obviously that's a 9-month cycle of birth. So something's gonna be birthed or something within that month specifically, like whether it's 9 months from now, 9 months into the connection, or November, whenever, not November, September, sorry, whenever, like, you know, whenever that happens for you. Yeah, so that's just a good time. So just be watching for those months, that range and such. But specifically, the most, the nearest thing will happen within a month, within the next moon cycle. Okay, so I stopped to get some water, and I was like, you know what, since we were already paused, let me go ahead and shuffle and get these additional cards for this pile. So here we are. And the first card is surrender, which is straight to the point, because I do feel like that's a theme of this reading, of this person kind of trying to open you up to them, the person that's missing you, because they're already open to you. That's why they're missing you. Like I said, not saying you don't miss them too, and not saying this is someone you're not interested in. I just feel like it's not that direct. It's not that cut and dry, like, oh, you're asking about somebody that you desperately want. Like, this may be somebody that you kind of gave up on, or someone that you may not be your usual type. Something like that, or someone just maybe, you know, it's not as easy as, oh, who's missing me? It's the guy you've been crushing on, the girl you've been crushing on. It's not always that cut and dry, because we said who. We didn't ask, are they missing you? Because then you could say you already had a specific person in mind, but right now we're just describing who it is. And right now it's someone that wants you to surrender to them. And you also have that planting moon card, which is preparation. So you've got surrender and preparation. This person's really trying to lure you in. They're really trying to find a way to get your attention, to get, in some instances, get your attention, or, you know, get you to see them differently. So you have that balsamic moon, and I like that that card is in the middle and that it follows surrender and preparation, because when it came out I was like, oh, I'm not, like, I know what that card means, but I just feel like there's more to it than what, like, my understanding of it is. So I pulled out the book to see, and like, that card talks about leaving the past behind, because it does say a time for healing. So like, it talks about leaving the past behind and looking forward to the future, and it talks about patience and preparation, specifically based, like I said, based on the book's description. The book uses the words patience and preparation. So it's like surrendering to something, and then you have the card preparation, And you also have the card patience. So patience and preparation are key themes for this pile. But I do like that at the end you have the sun and the moon combined. So like with the sun, this person's definitely wanting to express how they feel. Like they're almost antsy about it. Okay, they actively want to pursue their feelings, actively want to pursue you romantically, and they're really ready for a revelation of some sort, like for light to shine on the situation, to bring attention to it. So I'm also seeing that because I talked about the fixed energy in that Wheel of Fortune earlier, and us having the Sun card, this could be a person with Leo placements. Could definitely be that, since we have that energy kind of doubling. And ooh, this is interesting. So I'm also getting that because sun is giving me sun sign, this person may have a birthday towards the end of the month, of the year, not month. Oh, maybe the end of the month from the time you're watching this, possibly. But the end of the year, so like the second half, so between July and November. And the same could be for their moon. They may have moon placements in those signs that are in the that are towards where the sun is in those signs towards the end of the month. So I like that. I like that that came through that way. That was a bit different. But I want to say that that sneaky energy is highlighted again with that balsamic moon and the moon card too. Not in a bad way, but just in a feeling you out, sneaky watching you vibe. And like this person, especially with that balsamic moon card, the person missing you has subtly been low, like encouraging you to lower your guard towards them, right? That's that surrender preparation energy. And they've been making you more open, more expressive, like more trusting of them with the sun. And they've been connecting with your emotions, with you just in general on a deeper level with that moon card. And also because we have the sun and moon together, like we have that, again, we talked about that yin yang energy. I think we touched on it at least. It just feels like something about you two is like night and day for some reason, like a balance of some sort, like, you know, sun moon yin yang, like that's the energy between you two. For whatever reason, that's what's coming through. So I don't have anything else, Pile 3. Hopefully this resonated. If it did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Surprise! We have a Pile 4, which is completely new. I've never done it before, and I'm not gonna promise that I'm gonna keep doing it, but it wasn't an option today. Spirit definitely wanted 4 piles, so as I always do, I just rolled with it. I feel like that's the best way to get more authentic messages that resonate for everyone. Just kind of roll with the energy as it comes. So we have a Pile 4, and the topic, of course, is who's thinking of you. Oh no, it is not, but this person must be thinking of you, because yeah, we're asking who's missing you. So this is a person with lots of thoughts, thinking about you a lot. Just the fact that I switched that up like that, and I actually did not do that for any of the other piles. So just you, Pile 4. Now, I do want to say, because we have the surprise pile, because we have this 4th option here, it's abnormal energy. So some of you, not all of you, just some of you, this is an unexpected person that's missing you. Like, it may catch you off guard. Some of you, it may not, but like there's some of you here that are going to be a little bit surprised by who is missing you. There's also an overlap. So some of you here likely wanted to pick more than one pile, any of the previous piles, all of them. Just take it as it resonates. These are general readings. Honestly, some of you may watch all 4 piles and take something from every one. It just depends on your situation. So I will say the numbers 1, 5, 15, and 3 may mean something to you. If you look at that top row, and you probably can't see because of the light, sorry, I do like to use natural light. It's better for me as I'm doing readings. But you have the number 10 card, which is burden. You have the number 5 card, which is psychic development. And then you have the number 15 card of growth. So there's 10, 5, which is 15 from the same deck. And then you have 1 card that is 15. And then you also have number 3 of cups. You have 3 of cups card, that celebration card. And you have number 3 creativity, which is the Empress. Now that top row that I just read to you of burden, psychic development, and growth is very interesting to me because it just feels like the person missing you, they're practicing some form of divination, whether that's reading charms, tarot, and oracle cards, or whether they're getting those readings from someone else, if they're watching tarot readings on YouTube or something similar. This person is doing that to gain, they're trying to gain some more insight in their connection with you. I know that's juicy, right? Like you're getting a reading and like that person's getting readings too. That's crazy. Not that you had a specific person in mind. I do feel some of you did, but some of you, this person may not even be who you thought was missing you, but just some of you. Others of you, you probably have an idea. It's just that I know some of you are going to be surprised and unexpected. But honestly, with that 3 of cups there, it may be more than one person. But I'm going to focus on this dominant energy. So the person, oh, you know what? That energy, that psychic development energy of like people possibly getting readings. All of you, that's not the case. A lot of you there, that is. Some of you, it's just this person's thinking of you a lot and possibly dreaming of you as well, like daydreaming. That's why I had to slip up at the beginning. I think, what did I say? Who's thinking of you or something like that instead of who's missing you. So that's, it could just be that simple if they're not into like tarot or anything like that. So I want to point out a key thing in this reading of, okay, if you look at the 2 ends of the tarot, you've got the Knight of Feathers, and then you have that fighting card. So those are both the Knight of Swords, the exact same card from 2 different decks. And it just goes to show the alignment, because this is the 4th pile in this reading. And I don't put the cards back and reshuffle. I just leave each stack off to the side as I proceed. That's part of the reason why I use so many decks, so that I don't have to pull too many from the same deck. So just the fact that those 2 came out and they didn't pop up in the other decks, they specifically waited to the end so that they could both show up in pile 4. That's relevant. And now birds are chirping super loud outside the window. Okay, so lots of chatter. I've never had that happen before, like not during a reading and not even like outside as I like live here or when I'm sitting on the balcony. So that just was very interesting that happened just now. So just lots of chatter, but and it really aligns with the pile. Like I love when things like that happen because you can't make that up. Hopefully you could hear the chatter from the birds, because the point I was about to make about those 2 Knight of Swords is this is a person you're talking to a lot. Those cards are very much communication based. You know, swords are ruled by air. It's lots of chatter. So it's the combination of fire, which is night energy, and air of swords. So it's a very fiery, quick, action oriented energy. And it's just talking to someone all the time relative to this pile, obviously. And you both are on the same level of wanting to talk to each other. But that's why you have it on each end. Yeah, that's very interesting. I guess the only thing about that Knight of Swords energy is that it's often too busy to stabilize, like often too busy to commit. So maybe that's what's happening, why you're in a position where this person would miss you, because you talk to them a lot. And we even had nature confirm that, because these birds just, they got really loud outside the window. Yeah, like I said, this is a person that you talk about, you talk to, ooh, you might talk about them a lot as well. I love when I like slip phrases in that I was not trying to say. It's like I wasn't thinking about it and it just came out, so it's facts. So like, but this is a person that you talk about a lot, but you talk to them a lot, and you talk to them about everything, right? With that burden card, you talk about each other's hardships. With that psychic development card, you probably talk about spirituality, tarot, astrology, um, metaphysical things, meditation. It could just be you two discussing religion, other cultures, things that would be considered worldly. With that growth card, especially with the Seven of Crystals, you two could be talking about each other's goals, future aspirations. And then with that Three of Cups, you're talking about each other's successes with one another, right? Celebrating with one another, celebrating each other's victories. You and or this person, it feels very creative. I'm gonna say you and or this person because the energy of this pile is kind of mixed. Like you two kind of have a lot in common but are different at the same time. So I'm, like I said, I'm not quite sure, especially since this is a general reading, if it's you or them. And for a lot of you here, it's gonna be different. Like at some instances it's gonna be you, some instances it's gonna be them, mix and match, right? So yeah, so you are this person, very creative, because you have the creator card and the creativity card. And then with psychic development feels like messages, okay? Especially like I keep bringing up those two Knight of Swords. So one or both of you may be really good with words, like writing, possibly poetry. And then you have, especially with that celebration card, the Three of Cups, there's like dancing. So might be connected to music. One or both of you may dance. And I'm seeing a very athletic person here as well with these knights. Now, with that first row of tarot, like it's the second row of cards, those two cards that stand alone, you have the Knight of Feathers and the Seven of Crystals. The person that's missing you is a person that is really chasing their goals and dreams currently, okay? That person, they may have discussed their long-term plans with you and where they want to end up in life, okay? Again, you and or this person are highly creative, highly intuitive, highly psychic as well. And honestly, that's been growing and becoming more pronounced as of late. So this is a definite sign. Okay, so I have a definite signifier as to who's missing you. In like, okay, so in this connection between you two, whether or not it's a romantic connection, it could not be a romantic connection, or it could not yet be a romantic connection. The feminine is outpacing the masculine at the present moment. Okay, and by that I mean the person that has more feminine energy. And I promise you, it's obvious between the two of you, which of you has more masculine energy and has more feminine energy. I promise. It's very obvious. It just feels obvious from the pile. Let me just talk about where I'm getting that energy from. So you have the creator, right? That is the king of wands. And the creator is celebrating and being supportive and encouraging with that 3 of cups of that creativity card, which is the Empress, right? And as this Empress is pushing through in that Knight of Swords energy, fighting towards accomplishment, right? Fighting and moving on that path to accomplishing whatever goals the Empress has her eyes on, okay? Now, this does not mean that the more masculine person isn't doing well or not on the path to accomplishment. That just means that the feminine here is already the Empress, right? If you're familiar with tarot, you know that in the major arcana, you have the counterparts, the Emperor and the Empress. And they're basically, a short way to describe the energy of those 2 cards is like all of the kings in one is the Emperor, all of the queens in one is the Empress. So with you having that King of Wands, that's the energy the more masculine person is in, which is good energy. It's just that the Empress seems a little more developed, whether it's spiritually, financially, just in terms of life purpose. The more feminine of you two seems to be more on path, on purpose. And right, but again, the masculine is actively in that King of Wands energy. So that's being on the journey to become the Emperor. Like, it's not like the masculine's falling behind. They're not. They're just not already where the Empress is. So I'm also seeing that in this connection, the masculine may actually be pushing the feminine towards success, whether that's by directly assisting the feminine, by being a soundboard, listening to the feminine and giving advice or encouragement. Various ways you can be that support. It just feels like the masculine is pushing the feminine in whatever this connection is. And I'm getting that specifically by looking at that same creator card. If you look at the imagery, the creator is shining the light on the creative towards in the direction of the creativity card for support. Okay, like that creator, he believes in that Empress's power, right? The creator, creativity. But I do feel like you know who this is because you two feed off of each other and encourage one another. That's just really interesting. Even like playing on the words, so the creator and then creativity, right? Like the creator is feeding creativity. That's the vibe I'm getting between the energy of those 2 cards and the dynamic in this connection, Pal 4. So I just want to point out, because I'm gonna if you didn't watch any of the other piles, I am going to pull additional cards to support this first part. And I'm really, before I do that, I want to touch on the fact that you have the 1 major arcana card, which is the Empress. Okay, which again, that's a key theme in highlighting the point that I just made of the feminines, for now, a little bit outpacing the masculine in this connection. But the Empress, being a major arcana card, is ruled by Taurus. Okay, so that's Taurus Venus energy. Taurus rules the 2nd house. So it just feels like a theme here. Like you two are focused on accomplishing goals and doing what you want to do, supporting one another. Because it does feel like you two do feed off of each other and encourage one another. But that's that heavy second house Taurus energy theme. It just is a dominant energy of this pile, and I want to get that out here. That's a theme. So the second house rules. It rules finances. It rules assets, stability, especially when you have that 7 of crystals, which is a 7 of pentacles. That's a harvest. That's a theme. So you two probably talk a lot about that, like whether it's work, whether it's wanting to build a house one day or building a house currently, acquiring assets, possibly stocks, bonds, things like that. Just that's the type of things you two talk about, and that's a heavy energy of the pile. So I'm gonna pause, shuffle the other astrology based decks that I have, and get some more insight about this connection and this person that's missing you. Okay, pile 4, I'm back. And I have a very interesting energy before I get into these cards that I pulled. I did mention that 3 of Cups possibly being like, not necessarily third party vibes, just that it's multiple. It could be more than one person missing you. I keep wanting to say thinking about you now that I'm in this pile, and like I've done 3 piles already, so that has to be relevant to this pile, because like I'm not doing a reading on who's thinking about you, but maybe you're on a lot of people's minds, like for whatever reason. I just keep wanting to say that now. But that 3 of Cups being more than one person, I do think that there's at least one other person that's missing you. I don't feel like you're as invested in that person as this one, like the whole read that I've done thus far. But I'm gonna just to give you an indicator of who it may be. I think, and that maybe I'm being lazy, but this is a general reading. I cannot cover everything. I think the other person that's thinking of you tried to hop in and take over the pile when I went to shuffle for the second set of cards. And I wasn't having it because I wanted to stay on topic with where I am. But when the first deck I shuffled with was the Moonology deck, and one of the Capricorn cards fell out in reverse. It didn't feel right. It didn't align with this energy, so I didn't like it. So I put that thing back and I reshuffled. But now that I've finally got the cards that I want to read that feel right for this pile, I'm realizing that was probably another person's energy that's thinking of you, because like something just told me to look at the other 2 decks, because again, you see 3 cards, they each come from one deck, from a different deck. So like that first card there, that deck, whatever of the 2 Capricorns cards fell out in reverse, which now that I'm remembering that, probably someone that you're not thinking of that's thinking of you. But what is this called? The Heavenly Bodies Astrology deck. That's the one in the middle. As you can see here, I have I'm just gonna do it real quick without messing up. At the top is the 10th house, and the 10th house is ruled by Capricorn as well. Well, I pulled up, something told me just look. I have the Spirit de la Lune, and so Capricorn is at the top, and then Cancer, which is the opposite sign, is at the bottom. So I'm just like, then like I said, Capricorn and Cancer, they're opposite, they're polarities. They're on wherever in the chart Capricorn is, Cancer will always be opposite, because that's the polarity. So just this heavy Capricorn energy tried to come through. So it could be like Capricorn, could be Cancer as well, but there, like I said, maybe this other person that's gosh darn it, I keep saying thinking of you, that's missing you, is trying to come through. But we're gonna stay where we are now. So back to the energy that we were already reading. The first card is the new moon in Taurus. So in this connection that I've already been developing throughout the reading, one or both of you may have Taurus dominant energy, okay? Especially since that one major arcana you have prior to me pulling these cards, was the one ruled by Taurus. So that just, you know, I think that that's significant, especially since that other person that's missing you, when that energy tried to come in and I put it back, the first one that came out was the card of the sign of the dominant energy of the pile. So we're back on topic with that person. So the person you're invested in that's missing you obviously is missing you, but maybe you have like some ex or like somebody you friend zoned, or just someone that likes you that you don't like back, with some heavy Capricorn, possibly Cancer energy wanting you. So back to this new moon in Taurus. So prosperity lies ahead. That's a good thing, okay? So I hope you know who's missing you, who this dominant energy is. It may be shocking for some of you, like I said in the beginning, but I hope you know, because you two have a lot of prosperity coming your way, and it's going to work out well together. You two really support and feed off of one another. And I want to say, and this is only for some of you, that the person with the Taurus energy may be the one with the slower start. Like, I know, like, the feminine was represented by the Taurus card in the tarot cards, but like with this new moon in Taurus, it's like a new beginning. So it's feeling like maybe the person with the slow start may have the Taurus dominant energy. And honestly, even if this Taurus energy feels random, just remember that Taurus Venus is the second house. So these signs don't have to apply to your situation, but the energy will, right? Because again, the second house is the house of assets. It's the house of material possessions, finances, right? And these are themes surrounding that connection you have with this specific person that's missing you. Now that I say that, maybe that Capricorn Cancer axis popped out like that because the other person, and I didn't want to take it in this pile because I didn't want to throw off the pile, but I do feel like that energy is coming out for a reason, so I do want to not ignore it. I feel like that Capricorn Cancer axis, which is if those signs don't apply to anyone you know that could be missing you, just remember that these signs rule houses and are ruled by planets. So Capricorn is Saturn, Cancer is the moon, and then that axis is the 4th house, 10th house axis. So 4th house is home, your roots, your ancestry, your foundation, like your foundation as a person, not like your house. It's your home, right? Like where home is, where the heart is, where family is. That's the 4th house. 10th house is more like external factors of like society, how society views you. It's your career, your accomplishments. So someone in that energy is missing you. Could be a family member, could be someone you work with, someone dealing with your career, or maybe that's energy surrounding this connection, but it just feels like an external person that is missing you in some way related to 4th and 10th house. So again, 4th house of home, ancestry, family, 10th house of career, society, external accomplishments. So back to this energy. I'm sorry if I'm all over the place. It does get tricky when more than one person hop in the pile as missing you, the viewer. So hopefully I'm communicating that right, because I honestly was not expecting to have to take a second energy for this pile, because I was done. I was done, and I was pulling extra cards to clarify. So yes, we talked about that second house energy with that Taurus card and those themes, and how it's like a heavy energy surrounding that not the communication, but probably the connection. You two probably talk about second house things a lot because you do talk a lot. But I also want to just step aside from that Taurus energy into the second card of Mercury, because that second card of Mercury, it rules communication. So like that's why we keep having all of these, like I keep trying to say who's thinking of you, why you two talk a lot. Like there's some heavy Mercury themes within this connection, and that is tripling down on those two Knight of Swords cards. It just is, of you two talking all the time. I want to say that the person that's missing you is, if not the favorite person, like it's not your one favorite person you like to talk to, they are one of the people you love talking to the most, because you two are extremely compatible mentally and in your communication styles. So like you two are very complementary in how you communicate. So when it comes to synastry, your Mercuries are likely well aspected in some way. I just want to point out that Mercury also rules Gemini and Virgo. So those are signs that may be relevant in terms of placements as well for you too. Mercury is also showing that you two learn a lot from each other. So through the conversations you have all the time with the person that's missing you, you both learn and grow so much. You expand each other's perspective, right? You expand each other's worldview, especially with that growth card and that psychic development combo. Okay, so I feel like I mentioned repeating numbers, or like seeing numbers, I don't know, certain patterns I mentioned at the beginning of this reading. And hopefully I didn't say that in another pile. Hopefully it was this one. But you have that third card, which is support, and that's number 33. So if I didn't in this pile say that you may be seeing repeating numbers, you may be seeing repeating numbers, specifically number 3, because you've got the 3 of Cups, you've got the number 3 card of creativity, and now you have the number 33 card of support. And I do want to point out the synchronicities. You two and you alone, Pal 4, must be seeing synchronicities like crazy. Like things are aligning around you. You're seeing repeating numbers, things are adding up. It just, in a way that makes you feel like you're making it up, or like it's like it's just a coincidence. Because like even like I just talked about, you seeing repeating 3s. Well, that Mercury card rules Gemini, which rules the 3rd house. So there's another 3 in the mix subtly, right? But don't ignore these synchronicities that you consider coincidence, because that is spirit trying to get your attention. Okay, it feels like you're the type to doubt a lot of things, and based on the pile and the energy of it, you're a highly intelligent person. So you overanalyze, and sometimes you try too hard to be logical. And these messages are confirmation that you're on the right path. Now, as for the person missing you, if this is a romantic connection, I don't see anything stopping you two from being together other than fear. Okay? Because I talked about the support. Like you two are very close. You talk a lot, but I felt like I was throwing around that word support before that card even came out. Like you got the literal support card. You're very supportive of one another. And I mean, I guess the only thing that could be stopping you two is fear. It does feel like you two are building yourselves up on an individual level, so maybe it's just not the right time. And then because you have that Knight of Swords energy doubled down, you both may be fairly young, you know, not saying you are, because all of you are not. Some of you may be fairly young in these connections and therefore a little more unstable. But like I said, I think I said in the beginning, Knight of Swords is kind of being so busy that you can't stabilize or settle down. So maybe that's why you two aren't together. I guess with the energy from this pile, I don't really understand why there's even cause to be missing someone like this when you two are close and you talk all the time and you're very supportive of one another. Like, I guess maybe there's a physical distance. There's just, it doesn't feel like there's something here that would create a feeling of missing a person like this. So like I said, maybe we just didn't get all of the details as to what's keeping you two apart. But like I said, you two feel fine. So that's all I have for you today, Pile 4. If this resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.